Fox 2548 presents Paul Menard Moments with Paul Menard of the number 27 Menard Chevrolet.
Yeah, I mean, all week leading up to the 500, I mean, we watched the Clash the previous weekend, the duels. The duels are actually fairly clean, but then the truck race and Xfinity race were all wreck fest. So as a driver group, we kind of went into the 500 trying to keep our heads about us, but it didn't happen. We saw a bunch of crashes, obviously, and we were in the middle of most of them. And towards the end, when we were one of the few cars that had minimal damage, so I knew we had a shot. And we ran out. We had a pretty decent run coming off turn 2, and just the fuel started bobbling. The motor started shutting down, so I had to flip a switch to get the reserve out of the fuel and just kind of coasted home. Yeah, I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter. It's up to what the fans want to tune in to see. For us, it doesn't change a whole lot, other than it does create a couple of different opportunities to gain points throughout the race. A place like Daytona, you can't capitalize on that very much. A place like Atlanta, you could do some things strategy-wise by short pitting or putting tires on at different times to maybe try to get up there. But whatever you do to try to help you for the first segment or the second segment is going to hurt you for the next segment. So you kind of have to take it all with a grain of salt, but it does create opportunities, and it's another thing that we can strategize. You're still trying to, whoever's in front of you is the guy that you're going to pass. It doesn't matter if it's lap 2 or lap 102. Doesn't matter if you're coming down to the end of the segment or coming down to the end of the race. If there's a car in front of you, you're trying to do everything you can to pass it. Yeah, I'd say the last 4 or 5 years have changed the most. It's just the sheer the amount of engineering, and we say that a lot, the engineering, but what is that? So it's the simulations and the way that you set up the car. 10 years ago, you set up the car based on a notebook that the crew chief had, and that crew chief had their different, each crew chief had different notes, and they kind of did things differently. Now everything's kind of driven off of a computer and computer simulation, computer modeling. Even the way we build the cars, we'll put pieces on the car that have never been to the racetrack before, but show better in a simulation. So we learn as we go, but we have really good process of getting there. Yeah, I mean, Herm's the one that got us all into racing, and we've kept in touch through the years. And I know he had some health problems he was battling, so I was really sad to hear that he passed in December. I'm running a helmet this year based off of one of his old car designs, and he was always a helmet painter. He painted quite a few helmets for me, and the helmet that we ran in the Daytona 500 is it's based off of a car design that he had in the early 80s. So, but he's the one that got us all into racing. Before I was born, he got my dad bit with the racing bug, and is passed down through the generations. I've been through, I think, 3 different styles of cars just in my 10 years. A guy like Richard, yeah, I mean, back in the late 60s when he was driving, and then he got out and started owning cars for Dale Sr. and Ricky Rudd and guys like that. Just the sheer evolution of the sport. I mean, what he's seen is 10 times more than what I've seen. I've seen a lot. So he's got a pretty cool museum there that kind of shows the history of everything, and it's neat to be a part of. Our race days are pretty structured. Our race weekends are very structured. I don't really have any rituals. You just kind of go. You look at the schedule and try to fit in when you can have a meal, or when you have to be here and what time you have for yourself and things like that. But try to have a kind of a light lunch and then go race and eat a lot of food afterwards. Anything you do, it doesn't matter if you're racing or if you're just playing other sports or in business. It's competition, so you want to be the best at what you can do, and you have to just go all out to be that. Yeah, it was actually the building down the road, the old general office, but I think I had a blue big wheel. I'm trying to remember what it looked like. I think it was blue and yellow, something like that. But yeah, we started with that, and I started racing competitively when I was 8. But before that, I was always riding 4-wheelers and dirt bikes and stuff too. Yeah, I mean, our original race shop was one block that way back in the late 70s, before I was born. So this is where it all started for all of us. So I wouldn't be in it without him getting me into it and having his support. We've seen a lot of pretty cool stuff through the years. Yeah, I mean, Memorial High School's got a lot of alumni, I guess, that you can probably be pretty proud of. I don't know the two Jakes. I know Justin. You know, obviously went to school with him for years, and you're just proud of everything he's done. He's obviously a huge influence in Eau Claire and the things that he's been doing to kind of revolutionize some of the things going on downtown. It's pretty neat. You know, I don't get to see snow very often, so to be in a little bit of a snowstorm and it brings back memories of going to school at 7:30 in the morning whenever we had to go be at Memorial, but driving my '94 Chevy Blazer down Claremont Avenue in a foot of snow and just trying to get there. If this were to happen down south, the city would be shut down for days. It's crazy.